Here is everything I dislike about Shinjuku Showdown. I'm not gonna act as if I'm inside Gege's mind, so feel free to explain anything you think I'm misunderstanding in the comments. I'm not wrong though. The way Nobara was handled was 7 levels of stupid. She died in the 3rd-ish prominent arc without much insight as to who she is, so the impact of her death to the reader was purely up to if you liked her or not, plus some rinky-dink chapter of a backstory. She was then given the most hobo breadcrumb of hope that she's alive from fucking Nita. Not a reliable source, not an expert in RCT, no. The nigga whose first scene this is, and I'm meant to trust him?
Whose mess is this?
Now obviously Gege set it up, and I never believed he forgot. I thought there was a plan. But at every turn, this nigga done everything in his power to make you think she was dead. This nigga said she was done. No room for ambiguity, no room for theorizing, straight chewing dirt. Yuji asked Megumi for an update. Somber look. The same somber look he gave to a mother whose son was literally dead on arrival. Yuji's a dick to Angel. Why? Because he doesn't want Nobara to be replaced. Why would she be getting replaced if she's coming back? Can two legends not coexist? Why didn't Megumi reassure him? The chapter before she came back, she was next to niggas that were confirmed dead. Gojo was always dead, let's not do this. In more instances than not, you told me that she was dead, but the one time you said, she's dead, but she's not dead is what I meant to cling on to? Fuck it though, let's cling. Then this nigga gave her the worst comeback possible. He announced the manga is ending in 5 chapters, brought her back in chapter 4, literally 5 minutes before she's needed, in perfect condition, being able to do some shit that she has not only never done, not only most of the hero cast has never done, but probably some shit she's never heard of, to do the one thing in this series no one can do. Even if we attribute her coming back from a 2-month coma in perfect condition to because it's anime, even if we say that binding vows are easy to do, despite the only 4 heroes doing so being heavy hitters and Miwa, nigga, Nobara doesn't have a single thing that equates to Sukuna in his weakest state. It's like when Miwa put all her shit into hurting Kenny. He doesn't know you, little bro. Be gone. It's like if Ino gave his life to bring back Gojo. Gege and Sukuna will laugh in his face and throw him out like jazz. The same thing with Nobara. There is nothing you can offer that is in any way equivalent to bypass an impenetrable object to even Satoru Gojo. Then you gave her 3 lines in 3 chapters after an entire manga's worth of missed interactions, and I meant to shuck and jive for joy? Like Yuji was missing his best friend for 2 months, and I'm not even getting an emotional I missed you ass interaction? I understood Gege had a plan for her. Before this dark ass manga, I thought we'd get something like the Yuta Resonance panel. Instead of Gege misleading his audience for literal years, then having the one thing you said it wasn't be the deciding factor in the climax of your story. That shit is weak.
That ain't it, y'all.
In chapter 115, Sukuna opened his black box and pulled out his flames for the first time. To everyone from sorcerers to cursed spirits and especially the fans, Sukuna was just a Londoner. Just varied slashing attacks. So this random ass fire ability was unknown territory. Gege had created a mystery. For 143 chapters straight, we analysed, prophesized and overall theorized about this black box. What is the black box? Is the black box and the fire the same thing or are they different? How does he open it? Etc, etc, etc. I saw a theory saying shrine entailed people gifting him techniques like an actual shrine and the flying slashes were just his go-to, which would have played into how despite his mysterious origin, his nature is to be selfish and hedonistic, yet ultimately revered and deified by humans, cursed spirits and Gojo alike, but I digress. For a character we knew basically nothing about for 259 chapters, any mystery around him was an opportunity for insight as to who he is. My nigga, he could just do it. It's just a random ass fire ability. No backstory, no intrinsic value, no character development, just weak writing. Even if you disregard all the fan theories and what the fans wanted it to be, on the most basic level of writing, he created a mystery where he gave the main villain an attack so out of left field from his main ability that everyone was stumped. And the payoff was, why not? He can simply do it. In even simpler terms, Gege set up a mystery. What is the big blood clot fire attack? And the reveal was, it's just a big blood clot fire attack. But in more detail. To a certain point, I understand his connection to him eating his brother and eating humans, and please don't get it twisted, it's a sexy little attack. The aura is immeasurable, but taking a kitchen analogy so serious when it was nothing more than an example from an ethereal narrator, and Sukuna himself has no relation to actual cooking, literally Urame is the chef, I can't respect it. You're better than that, Gege. Gege does this thing where he gives characters excessive leaps in their technique. Megumi's technique is real animal plus ability, attack boost dogs, freaky tongue frog, electro bird, then white evolution Berlizzi Roach x Jeremy Scott's demon god Maharaga. Sukuna's technique, big slash, little slash, burning hellscape. Gojo's technique from I can't let you get close to erasing existence. Gege's been doing this, but these are main characters, and barring Sukuna, they each have some relevance. Why the fuck can Wee Wee swap souls? Wee Wee has no business swapping souls. That nigga's technique is teleporting in a blanket. Where the fuck do souls come in? And yeah, that sucks, but the main issue is how it's used. You're telling me the heroes have 1 month to overcome insurmountable odds of Sukuna and Kenjaku, and this random side character secretly has the one ability that can bring them up to speed? The nigga whose ability is teleporting? Shall I clap my cheeks in amazement? Sure, it's clever bringing back the ingrained training shit from early chapters, but to do it in such a easy, oh by the way guys, plot convenience ass manner just seems lazy. Like, when the fuck did he even learn that? But shout out to that one "do we need more Satoru Gojo" scene, that moved mountains, that moved me. This one's pretty easy. In the midst of the Sukuna cycle controversy, this nigga Gege decided to bring back the one character that was pretty much inviable to bring back. Not just cause his technique was self-admittedly destroyed, but because we haven't heard shit about this nigga since that scene. Nary a Maribo, nary a peep. You managed to keep Nobara fans alive after getting done like Idris in American Gangster, but you can't give Todo fans an inkling of hope? Like, I understand the idea of keeping info away from Yuji, but a scene as simple as someone asking how Todo's doing and Yuji saying, yeah, he's discussing with Shoko about his next steps, but it looks like he's gonna have to retire, would fix a lot, because that sounds like some shit you'd say to someone who just got out of a war, in turn deceiving Sukuna, but it's enough ambiguity that the unshowered ones can start theorizing. And we've seen, they don't need much to start theorizing. With the way it's currently done, while we welcome our CTE champion back, looks like Gege just needed another body to throw at the King of Curses. I'm gonna keep this one brief because it's extremely meta with no active solution, but the manga basically being bi-weekly hurt the pacing. Like, I understand it's for the editor team's health, and I'm not saying to stop for my enjoyment, but looking at it from a viewing perspective, there were seldom opportunities where breaks were created and used to extend tension at the end of a chapter. Like, Miguel coming back was interesting and all, but I didn't need to wait 2 weeks to see him do his little dance. Kenjaku defeated Satoru Gojo, murdered Yuki Tsukumo, sealed Ryomen Sukuna, started the Culling Games, was the strongest in the verse for a time, was the 3rd strongest in the verse all time, has the highest knowledge of Jujutsu in the verse, has 3 curse techniques, here's my hot take, has a domain equally as refined as Satoru and Sukuna, was set up to fight the 4th strongest in the verse, consumed the cursed spirit with the talent of Satoru Gojo, created a sorcerer of the talent of Satoru Gojo, is the entire reason the plot is happening 3 times over, but in the final arc, lost in a 3-chapter fight. His only 3 chapters of screen time, by the way. They literally threw away his 1,000 years of Jujutsu for this fucking gorilla-faced bastard in a shitty interesting fight. But Kenjaku just wanted to have fun. I don't care. I don't care. I can't lie, this is the worst one. It genuinely pisses me off. The MCU does this dumb shit where they'll try to blow up the earth in most movies as if they haven't announced 6 more Captain Americas coming. And we know that nigga is only in 2 places, on the helicarrier posted up like Todo or in international waters where he doesn't belong. Either way, we know the earth's not getting blown up. The stakes are so high that it's unrealistic to believe it will happen. Now the merger is absorbing every Japanese soul into one titanic being that will go on to destroy the earth. In a shonen.
Yo, what's that? Teeth and palms.
The merger was never a tangible threat to the fans because we knew that shit was not gonna happen. Gege is not bad enough to make the heroes lose, and that's fine. But when the main goal of the main villain is never a tangible threat, that makes said villain even less of a tangible threat, cause he's not better than the merger. Now when the merger got to Sukuna's hand, it became more of a threat because of Sukuna's Jujutsu innovation and willingness to fight dirty. There's a plausible scenario where the merger can happen and the heroes not instantly lose. But A, that means Kenjaku's role is diminished, making him no longer that guy, which we know by his ending, but more importantly, B, it doesn't matter because it wasn't used anyway. Tengen got split up like a choking baby that one time and we forgot about it 2 panels later. So please tell me, at any point, when should I have felt scared for the merger? See, other shonens with grandiose goals have some caveat that fit into the story. See Naruto. Madara's goal was to put everyone into a coma. If the Tsukuyomi just instantly killed everyone, we'd know that bitch isn't getting cast. It's fucking Naruto. But even once the Tsukuyomi was cast and they beat Madara, Sasuke used it to make a play at the sleeping Kage. The main threat of the series was used to end the series. In JJK, the merger had no real stakes. It was just a thing that Kenjaku wanted to do. And if you say they just wanted to have fun, I'ma do you like Dolph Ziggler gets done.
For a ride down! This has gotta be it!
I really like Kashimo as a character, like he's one of my favorites, but for the strongest middle child in history whose destiny was to use his one-time technique to kill Sukuna, it being pure aura and just instant death touch seemed so lazy. It's like Klay Thompson having all that aura for his return just to go 3 for 8 in the game. I will say maybe I just don't understand the science behind it because I don't care that much, but for the creativity Gege puts into his abilities, a single-use hidden ability should have had more kick to it, rather than just evil go on X adult killer fanfic. You know what, fair enough, this nigga Gege loves his Hunter x Hunter. Maybe this is just me overthinking the importance of character design, but designs are supposed to indicate a lot about a character. In Hunter x Hunter, Gon's green represents his affinity for nature, kind-heartedness, and almost animal-like instincts. Sukuna is portrayed as a demon while ultimately being a human. Simone and Sinbad have unlimited drip. Sasuke's initial navy and white layered outfit represents his openly dark natures and intentions, while indicating his underlying want for connection, love, and an overall lighter life. So when the main character of a series, who was talking about eating demons, being a monster and being a cog in a never-ending war, gets these overly designed Sukuna hand demon-esque arms, the fuck do you mean they don't mean anything? No power-up, no relevance to the main character? Again, the brother was talking about eating demons to kill Sukuna, then was separated from Sukuna, giving him a chance to kill him, then was revealed to have a four-armed, four-eyed, double-tongued uncle, and he just borrowed Yuta's gloves? Plus 5 defense and some drip? I'm not so much of a hater to say it's bad writing, but it is underwhelming. Sukuna got 2 endings. After receiving a specs level jumping from Yuji, Higuruma, Yuta, Megumi, Todo, Hana, Kusakabe, Meimei, Larue, Maki, Choso, Miwa, the Shiesty Sorcerer, Nanami's Dead Spirit, Kashimo, Inumaki, Judgeman, Gojo Fangirls, Niggas Who Think Gege Can't Write, Pinoy Pins, Baba, and a couple former presidents, Sukuna faded to the wasteland in Yuji's arms, rejecting another chance at life where he doesn't get to live as he truly was. A curse. The final chapter then had his final appearance with him reconsidering how he lived his life and considering being a different man if he were given the chance. I don't like this second ending. It's not that I don't think Gege can write this time, but it's that it doesn't work with his character. The ending portrays Sukuna as a character who only lived as he could, as if he knew nothing else, as if Sukuna all along was just a broken child, a victim of circumstance. But that's not him. He's an extremely introspective character. He's not just a standard Kenpachi smoke demon archetype, he's a thinker. He's been forced to explain his ideologies multiple times and has never shown an inkling of hesitation in his conjecture. Not to Jogo, not to Kashimo, even when he was in Yuji's domain, on the precipice of death by Spider-Man syndrome, whole fucking chapter of Yuji begging this nigga to be normal, telling him there's other valid lifestyles and perspectives that he can choose to live like, all he has to do is choose. This nigga looked him dead in his eyes and told him, I hear everything you're saying, but not a single light is clicking. I don't care about that shit. But all of a sudden, maybe Yuji was right. Now he wants to be a good mother and he wants to be your wife. It didn't add up after 6 mind-frying domain expansions. It didn't add up after the ultimate team effort. It didn't add up when you are blob on the ground dying from said team effort. So subsequently, it doesn't add up for who you've established Sukuna to be. He's consistently portrayed as evil, malicious, not a victim, not a survivor. Remember when his first words were about Griffith's activities? When he held 2 15-year-olds hostage, killed another, murdered an entire town for funsies? Adding Urame in there didn't change my mind on him. And on that, my nigga, you can't imply that they're father and daughter when you had her eyeball in straight dick. There hasn't been anything to show that Sukuna cares about Urame like a daughter. Now, I don't need him throwing up crying whenever Gojo hit her, but look at him. He doesn't give a fuck. She's just a servant. Not even Jeffrey from Fresh Prince, but Alfred from Cape Crusader. So once again, as a lot of plot lines in this story go, what could have been a compelling line of development was fumbled by a lack of development from Gege. Yeah, I lied at the start. It's bad writing. Bad writing this, bad writing that, in an arc littered with plot convenience, flawed characterizations, and a desperate need for a part 2, I don't want you to think that Gege is a bad writer. The heart of a lot of the complaints were missed opportunities, but that being a matter of perspective implies that they were more important to us than Gege's story. Now, the discussion between servicing the fans and writing your own story is a different discussion entirely, and it's undeniable that Gege has the ability to create a global phenom of a story that has impacted manga now and until the next big thing comes along. But for everything I mentioned, and for everything I didn't, notably Higuruma surviving, Kusakabe surviving, the clan war being introduced late, New Shadow style politics, Yuta surviving, the unanswered question of the next stage of human evolution, Jin being Sukuna's brother, and probably some more if I could think of them. For everything I didn't like, Shinjuku Showdown is the worst major arc in JJK. Okay, that's the video, bye.